And we are live.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Would you take a roll?
I have only the mayor is absent. We do have a quorum.
Perfect. We have no public hearings tonight, but we do have a personal appearance. Miss Stacy Bretcher, with the Executive Director of the Kearney Chamber of Commerce, with her annual report.
I wasn't expecting it that quickly. Thank you so much.
This way you can get it done early and go.
Well, thank you for that. I was expecting to address the mayor, so I don't know how to address you. I apologize. Thank you, Aldermen, for allowing me to be here tonight for our annual review of the Kearney Chamber of Commerce. We have had an incredible year in 2023. You can see from the sheet that we're passing around that the type is very small. That's because I had to fit it all in. So we'll just go over some of it. Membership has continued to grow with an average 1 new member per week. Our trajectory is we should meet that by the end of the year. So we currently have 268 members, 48 new members. Unfortunately, 39 have dropped, but we still have a very high retention rate and low attrition rate. Although this is the first, in the last few months, this is the first time our attrition rate has been in the double digits in the last 5 years. Those who have dropped have shared economic woes for their reasons for dropping their membership, but very hopeful that they will be able to come back in the following years. Committees haven't changed much, although we did add the Tourism Development Committee, but we did actually add staff for the first time. Other than being a one-person shop, we're now a 1.5-person shop. We have hired a part-time administrative assistant. She is a college student working 3 days a week, and she has been an absolute gift to the chamber, just jumping right in. Has needed very little direction, so very excited about that. Our sponsorships, we continue to be active in our community with the local radio station, Rotary, the Kearney School District, Education Foundation, Updike First Responders Appreciation. Hopefully you all enjoyed your barbecue dinner if you haven't had it yet. The amphitheater being presenting sponsor both for the Chamber and Visit Kearney, Missouri. We've hosted Northland Caps and Kearney High School interns. We were able to boost our annual scholarships from $500 to $1,000 to 2 different students. And we were also able to offer a scholarship to the Donovan Leadership Institute for a Chamber member. And we hope to do that again this year. Social media continues to grow. We have, 5 different pages that we manage. Kearney Chamber has 2.7 thousand followers, likes. Visit Kearney has almost 1,000. Shop Local 1,000. Kearney, Missouri Restaurants 2.6 thousand. And Kearney Job Board 2.4 thousand. We have sent out over 227 emails this year to over 1,005 subscribers. And the Visit Kearney mobile app, I am so pleased to report that we now have 1,536 downloads of the mobile app. They come from 40 different states, and what does that say? I can't even read it. 37 different countries. The areas with the most downloads obviously is Kansas City, but also Denver, Chicago, Excelsior Springs, Smithville, Liberty. Of course, Kearney is the #1. I didn't see there was a reason to put that on there. So just amazing how many different places this is hitting. Our websites are being used, over 12,000 users on the Chamber website. Popular pages were the holiday giveaway, events, and the membership directory. Visit Kearney website has had in the last 12 months 2,000 users. That is actually down about 40% because we ran out of money to be able to continue our search engine optimization. So that really does work. So we hope to be able to get that back in the works. Let's see, we've had several programs, all of our standards, the luncheons, the nonprofit forum, Kearney Coffees, Business of the Month, ribbon cuttings. We did this year have a multi-chamber event. The Kearney Chamber, Smithville, Excelsior, Liberty, and Gladstone chambers collaborated for an after hours that blew the roof off of Conrad's and Liberty. I mean, we had a waiting list of people wanting to get in. We had to turn people away. And we've had several who have asked us to do it again. So we hope to do a couple more events next year together. We've also delivered almost 200 new mover welcome packets. We visited many of our members who are within the city limits last winter. Let's see, we added chamber services this year with the addition of our part-time administrative assistant. She is now offering graphic design, copying, administrative assistant services to our members. And so that has helped out many people. We also have the chamber benefit plan. If you're not aware, we offer now 3 different health plan options for our members to take advantage of to provide to their employees. Each one has different specifications to it, but they all come at a very low and reasonable rate if you can meet the markers. We're super excited about our most recent acquisition, which is telehealth, for only $10 a person. So if you're interested in that, I'd love to tell you more about it. We also added a benefit partnership with the Jewel Unlimited through a micro-learning library, which can be accessed on our website. Let's see, we have done a lot of things within the community. The first most important thing we did was starting a new foundation. It's the Kearney, Missouri Chamber Foundation, which will handle the tourism, economic development, scholarships, and other community outreach parts of the chamber. You can see all that we're participating with Clay County Tourism now that they've gotten that going again. We're on the Kearney Transportation Master Plan Community Advisory Committee. That's a really long title. We participated in the Northland World Cup listening session, which I'm excited to let you know we are bringing that listening session here to Kearney on November 29th. So be watching for information on that. And we were also a part of the Missouri Farm Bureau Agritourism Conference, both as a participant and a guest speaker. So we're excited to be invited to that. Events and public, I forgot to note under programs, the Take Note videos that we produce is now award-winning from the Missouri Chamber of Commerce. We received that award just a couple of weeks ago. So we're very pleased about that. Events and publications, we had our 3rd annual hiring fair with 22 employers and 47 people coming to participate and try to find jobs. We reproduced the chamber map and shop local insert. We were super excited to partner with the Historic Museum, the Library, Kearney Enrichment Council to win, I don't know if win is the right word, Jerry. Awarded the Traveling Smithsonian Crossroads exhibit, which will be here in the spring of next year. That was a major accomplishment that we're excited about. Keep the Cheer Here holiday campaign. If you haven't heard about that yet, we are switching things up. Instead of the regular holiday giveaway that we've run for the past 3 years. Instead, we're trying to make it a community-wide, fully comprehensive, everything holiday in Kearney, putting it all together in, well, we say one place, but it's really going to be in like 3 or 4 different places. But it's all going to be right there together so that you and our residents can see everything that's happening in Kearney holiday, and they know where to go to experience the joy of that season with their families. So we're excited about that. So we also We got to participate in the I-35 ribbon cutting for the new interchange for 19th Street. That was a spectacular event. Thank you to Sheila for all the work, and Carolyn for working on that and partnering with the Chamber. That was awesome. So the board, the Chamber of Commerce had their retreat, what was that, a couple of weeks ago, Jerry? Mm-hmm. And we reviewed our goals from last year, which we met all but 3 of the goals that we had set for ourselves, I think of about 10, so we were excited about that. We reviewed our pillars of purpose, which you see at the bottom of your sheet. We feel like that is still relevant today, and we're still going to pursue those goals. But our 4 main objectives for next year is increasing membership participation, maximizing partnerships, expanding tourism and preparation for things that are coming our way, and then leadership development will be key this year. So thank you to all of you, this board, for supporting the Chamber and being champions of what we're trying to do to support our local businesses. Do you have any questions?
I think you're doing an outstanding job, and you are a great face of the Chamber.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, for those that are at home that are watching on Facebook or that are here, it's so important that we have a good Chamber of Commerce. And it's so important that the person who's in charge of Chamber of Commerce is the face. And we are very fortunate to have Stacy as outgoing as she is, and to be that face of the Chamber and be that representative for the city. When many businesses come to town, one of the first places they go is they go check out the Chamber. They want to find out what the other businesses are doing. They want to find out if it's active. They want to find out if the town's actually vibrant. Well, the first impressions are very important. And they're looking for a vibrant city, and they have a vibrant leader. So we are very blessed to have you in that position. We're very blessed to have the Chamber that we have and that outreach that it has to the businesses that are here. And I thank you for all your efforts. I thank you that you needed help with getting a part-time person. That says success is happening. So I know with the gala that gets put on, all the events that gets put together, the community comes behind you, and you do a great job leading us to where we need to be to represent Kearney. Thank you.
Thank you. It's my honor to serve my hometown.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Has everybody had a chance to look at the consent agenda? So I need a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I got a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, consent agenda passes. Let's move on to ordinances. Sheila?
The first item tonight is an ordinance that is going to be approving the intergovernmental agreement between Mark and the city of Kearney, and David Pavlich is going to tell you a little bit about that.
Well, this ordinance would approve the Regional Household Hazardous Waste Collection Program. It's kind of a cost share program where all the cities in the Mark District pool the money together. That allows people in every community to participate in hazardous waste collection, either at mobile events. We host a mobile event every other year. We just had ours here in Kearney a month and a half ago. It also allows anybody in Kearney to go down to either the Lee Summit or Kansas City drop-off locations all year. So staff recommends approval, as we have done for many years.
Do you know how many years we've done this? What, 10?
I don't know, but it's quite a few.
Yeah, quite a few. Any questions?
No, I remember when it got so popular here in the parking lot, I would be at the museum across the street, and it was out and around and big lines, huge.
Yeah, we end up having to move it
Yeah,
up.
we
Yeah,
held
so
it at
moving
Eckler Park,
it,
the
I
last
think,
two
was
times,
good.
and the circulation works really well.
Yeah,
Not as visible, but we still get a lot of cars. And
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you guys do a good job of notifying the public when it is.
That's good. That's good to hear, because I always wondered if we
yeah.
Yeah,
notified people.
yeah, you hear people talk, oh yeah, I gotta do that this weekend, yeah, so, they know. All right. Would you like to read the ordinance?
Yes. An ordinance approving the 2024 intergovernmental agreement between the Mark Solid Waste Management District and Kearney, Missouri, relating to the Regional Household Hazardous Waste Collection Program in the amount of $12,331.69.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Can you second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none? We don't need, yeah, we need a second reading, right?
An ordinance approving the 2024 intergovernmental agreement between the Mark Solid Waste Management District and Kearney, Missouri, relating to the Regional Household Hazardous Waste Collection Program in the amount of $12,331.69.
Move to approve on second reading.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Full board.
Alderwoman Barger,
Aye.
Alderman Lehman,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderman Holt.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, 5B.
This item is appointing directors for the Enhanced Enterprise Zone, and Carolyn is presenting.
So good evening. The Enhanced Enterprise Zone is a 7-member board, and the ordinance before you this evening appoints and approves the 5 city-appointed members. All of the current board members' terms have expired. There are 2 other positions on the board. The other position, the first one is a school board member, and that position is appointed by the school district. And the 7th member is a member of other taxing jurisdictions. So before you tonight are just the 5 that are city appointed.
And those 5 are Jared Walters, Joe Whelms, Chris Shipley, David Hink, and Jeff Ford. Any questions? I can read the ordinance.
An ordinance appointing and approving the appointment of directors for the Enhanced Enterprise Zone Board of Kearney, Missouri.
I make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none? We on second reading?
An ordinance appointing and approving the appointment of directors for the Enhanced Enterprise Zone Board of Kearney, Missouri.
Move to approve on second reading.
Can I get a second to that?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Full board.
Alderman Lehman,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Barger,
Aye.
Alderman Holt.
Aye.
Passes.
Motion passes. Okay,
The next item is a professional services contract with the Missouri State University for the proposed Hall Park project, and that this is being presented tonight by Eric Marshall, our park director.
Thank you very much. This $4,705 request for funding is part of the grant application that we have to do for Hall Park. We didn't know at the time that it would be required, but it's a different area. And the Land and Water Conservation Fund people down in Jeff City said that the National Park Service is going to require us to do that as part of the grant application that we had submitted over a year ago to LWCF. They're over 2 years behind. That's why this is coming in so late. And if we do get this grant, they anticipate us being notified after the first of the year. Like I said, that's how far behind that they are on this situation. But if we are in fact awarded this $500,000 grant, this fund, the $4,700 and some odd dollars, would be part of the expense towards the application. It would go in with our application that we've already sent in as part of our commitment to the project. So it's just something that they are requiring as part of the grant application now.
is this a resubmittal or is this?
It's brand new. It's just a new thing that the national, that the National Park Service up in Nebraska notified people in Jeff City saying that we are required to do this And it's for the historic preservation for the Osage Indians and things of that nature. So they've actually got to go out and do some excavating on that piece of property to see if there's any artifacts or anything of that before any grant money or any project will be let to the city for that project.
So Kearney is considered in part of the Osage Nation?
It is.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we were really fortunate that even though Lions Park, when we received that grant, and that park had been there for many years, and I know the whole family has lived there for many, many, many years. They didn't require us for that down there, but
Yeah.
they are for this one. So
Okay.
I've been involved in several projects here since I worked, and we always have to do historic preservation inquiries. So I think maybe if it's related to that, it's something that we typically do with the grant funding, federal grant funding.
Would you like to read the ordinance?
An ordinance of the City of Kearney, Missouri, approving a professional services contract with Missouri State University for a cultural resources survey of the proposed Hall Park project in the amount of $4,705.17.
Move to approve on first reading.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, please read the second reading.
An ordinance of the City of Kearney, Missouri, approving a professional services contract with Missouri State University for a cultural resources survey of the proposed Hall Park project in the amount of $4,705.17.
Motion to approve. I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Please pull the board.
Alderwoman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderwoman Barger. Aye. Alderman Lehman.
Aye.
Alderman Holt.
Aye. Okay, resolutions. There are no resolutions tonight, so items for review and presentations.
The first item tonight is a refund request by a resident that lives at 616 Woodson Street. The customer's name is Mike Bates, and he contacted the mayor and myself requesting a refund in the amount of, Shirley calculated it, it would be $195.85. And this, so beginning in January, this customer's meter started increasing, indicating that there is a potential leak. And then this continued each month. The leak appears to be getting worse, and the hourly meter readings are in your packet. We couldn't go back prior than to 6 months than when Shirley first, so I don't have anything before December 17th. In April, Shirley was doing the billing, and she noticed that this resident's meter was registering a negative meter reading. And when she noticed that, she sent water department staff out to change out the meter and replace that meter with a new meter. When that was done, unfortunately, the meter was not configured correctly, so the meters come in a box, and they are marked for the correct pipe size, the water line size. And this meter, because the number of dials was not programmed correctly, it was measuring water in tenth gallons instead of 1 gallons. So what was happening is, starting in May when this meter was replaced, the customer was the meter was registering 1/10 of what it should have been registering. The customer who saw that his water bills were much less called City Hall, and the reason is because his bills had been higher, and then now the bills are lower, and he was concerned that his meter from before had not been reading correctly. When the customer contacted Shirley, that is when she looked into it and she noticed that the meter was not programmed correctly. Upon discovering that, she sent Jake out on October 12th, and she asked Jake to properly program the meter. Jake went out, and at that time, the resident was home when Jake went out to do that, and they did a service line check. So they asked the resident to turn off the water at the main into the house, and they checked and looked at the meter to see, was it registering any water? If there was, then that would mean that there was a break, something between the meter and the house. The meter was completely still, no water was registering. And then when the customer's main was turned back on, the water meter started to run, and it continued running. I have those readings also in the packet. And we monitored, and I had Shirley, right before I made this agenda packet, I had her pull current activity. Our meters are hourly meter readings, so it registers the reading for every hour. And you could see that there was something going on inside the house. I don't know what was using water, but you can see until October 25th. I don't know what happened on October 25th, but I know something happened on October 25th, and the meter, it appears that the meter is no longer leaking, or not the meter, something inside the house. So if you guys can see, there's these little print. These are the ones that are more recent. You can see that there's usage every single hour on these little ones until October 25th. And the customer, understandably, like, it's very confusing. It didn't make sense why the customer's bill decreased after the new meter. I can completely understand why the call, and I'm grateful that he did call, because that's when Shirley discovered that the meter hadn't been configured correctly. But that resident has requested that the city refund him the difference between his high water bills for the months of February, March, and April, and his average water usage. Shirley calculated that amount, and the amount of refund that he is requesting is $195.85. And I've never seen Mr. Bates, but maybe he's in the, no? Okay. So. We have not billed for the water bills that were submitted or that were the water that was not billed because of the error. The water and sewer that the customer received and was not billed for actually totals $934.92. And our code of ordinance, while we could correct an actual billing error, we cannot, there's nothing in our ordinances that allows staff to give an adjustment when there isn't a reason to give an adjustment.
Are there any extenuating circumstances we should know about? Is this an elderly people, fixed income, anything like that that we're unaware of?
I am not aware of
Okay.
anything. I've never seen the resident, so
Okay. So basically, it seems like they owe us $934.92 for water they have used
that was not billed.
that was not billed properly.
I have seen some cities put in their ordinances specific criteria, because there are time to time that, you know, if somebody had a big water leak, a water main break, there might be extenuating circumstances. So there are times that I have seen boards put something in the code of ordinances to allow staff with specific criteria so it can be applied to all citizens, residents equally, so that we're not playing judge and jury, picking who might get something or might not. Also, it helps to have strict criteria so that can be audited to make sure that somebody isn't just, not that anyone would do this, but accounting controls are always put into place in order to make sure that we have factors in place to be able to have proper checks and balances. So possibly the board would I don't know that it would help anything from prior to an ordinance, but staff could bring to a future meeting an ordinance for you to consider that would have criteria, a set of criteria to be able to give adjustments if that's something that you would like us to look into.
We have done adjustments in the past, brought to the board like this is. And sometimes they get approved, sometimes they don't, depending on the situation. So I don't know that we need to write a new ordinance for it, but I think it is something that needs to come from the board and talk about. So I don't know about the ordinance type thing, but getting back to Mr. Bates. So what you're saying is that had his meter been correct, he would have been charged $934.
And 92 cents more than he was, yes.
Okay, and he's asking for a refund of $195 for the difference between this meter and the old meter. I'm trying to get where he's got the $195. That's what I'm trying to get.
His request is for the months prior to him getting the new meter. He is saying that he is suggesting that the meter was not measuring correctly for those 3 months, and he is asking for a refund in the amount of what the average water bill that he has versus the higher where his meter, or there was a leak for those 3 months.
But he did have a leak
He
of some
did,
sort.
there was something leaking in his house, yes. And it was definitely inside the house, not outside the house, and we could tell that by checking that service line.
Guys, got any questions? So what's the board feel like doing?
Personally, I don't see, especially if he's hasn't been billed for water that's $934 and change. Even if we were to say, okay, your $195 or whatever he's asking for comes off of that, he still owes us money. So why would we give him a refund when he's not been billed for that $934?
Is he going to be billed for that?
I was talking to Shirley and I explained to her I did not believe that we, staff, had the authority to not bill it because it was owed. The board would be able to tell us not to bill it. But any time, I mean, citizens are paying for all of the fees and the costs of the water. So somebody's paying the $934.92. Maybe it's lighter when you divide it over 4,000 customers, but I don't feel like staff has the authority to not bill once we are aware of an error. Now, on the other hand, we would not have known about the error had he not contacted us. So it's tricky. I don't know that there's a right or a wrong answer, but I don't believe that staff has the authority to make that decision.
So we got two things we gotta decide. Are we gonna bill him, and are we gonna give him a refund? I guess that's the two things we gotta decide. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
So what if we compromise? We offer him $195.85 credit towards the $934.92 that he owes. So he still owes us $729.07. It's a compromise. It does not totally clear the bill, but maybe it's a gesture of goodwill. I don't know.
I definitely don't think that the rest of the citizens should foot
No,
his bill. I
no,
mean,
his,
I'd love to pawn my water bill off on 44,000 people besides me,
Yeah.
but it just doesn't work that way.
And I'm playing devil's advocate here. If you punish somebody for reporting it, then do we now have nobody that wants to report anything? They're just gonna, and this particular issue could have gone on forever until he no longer is a citizen of the city.
Well, the other way to do it, okay, you give him the $195 or whatever he's asking for, but you bill him for the 900. It's the same thing.
yeah,
Well, yeah.
then he owes $729.07. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was proposing. It's a bit of a compromise, but yeah.
And so if we did nothing, we didn't give any refund and we didn't bill, the city eats $700? Or the 900, I guess,
It
technically.
eats $934.
I think we actually eat $1,130.77 because the 195 was also billed. He's just saying that he thinks that is erroneous because,
But he's already paid that $195.
Yes.
So you can't add it to the 9.
well, true.
So, so either, yeah, we give him the credit, we bill him for the $934, or we just give him the refund and still bill him for $934 and he owes
Yeah.
$700 and whatever.
And I would like to tell the board that I spent quite a bit of time talking to Census, and there are reports that can be run every month to check for things like that. And so every month we'll be running reports and checking that so that this will not happen in the future.
So let's break this down into two parts. Let's make a motion to bill him, or however you guys want to put it, to bill him for the $934, and then we need to separate, are we going to give him the credit for $195? We can either lump it together or do it two separate, but we have two decisions we gotta make here. So,
All right, I guess I'll start. I make a motion then to bill him for the $934.92.
do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we need a motion to either give him a credit or to not give him a credit of the 195, because he's already paid it.
So that water use, that was water that went through his meter, correct?
Yes.
I have a really hard time justifying giving him just because he wasn't. And, I mean, did he not realize that all of a sudden his water bill was astronomical? Wouldn't you have mentioned that the first month?
It was the other way around.
It
Yeah,
was
it's the other way
slowly increasing, so each month, it was the first month, sorry. So it looks like he usually uses around 9,000 gallons a month. And so in January, he used 10,900, so it went up like 1,000, and then it went up to 12,800 in February. Then it went up to 13,600 gallons in March, and then 16,600 gallons in April. And then because the meter, something happened with the meter and it started running backwards, in May, he got a minimum bill. And then he was billed 1,500 gallons in June, but it was a tenth of what he should have been billed. So he actually used 15,000 gallons. And he didn't know he was using, right? Like at this point, he's like, he doesn't know he has a leak because the bill was incorrect and is saying that he has a 1,500, that he only used 1,500 gallons. And then 1,300 gallons the following month, which should have been 13,000. August 2023, he was billed for 1,200 gallons, which should have been 12,000. And September of 2023, he was billed for 1,300 gallons, which should have been 13,000. And he probably would have made that connection eventually if he had been getting bills that were accurate. So it was a very series of unfortunate events.
Do we have any idea what his October bill was?
His October bill is going to be high because he had a leak until October 25th. But I did not ask Shirley to get me that information. I don't think she had done the billing before when I asked for his current meter readings.
So he figured out where the leak was, or he has.
The leak is done.
Yeah.
It's no longer leaking.
so whatever pipe is leaking is done, so.
And I'm not sure, what the leak was. I don't know how he was using the water.
Could have had a hose outside that was just on enough that was continuing.
Should have.
You'd think he would have noticed a soggy spot in his yard, though.
I mean,
Could be any
you
number
see a lot of
things.
things about toilets, but I can't imagine that toilets are gonna use this kind of water.
It depends on if they're wide open or if they're, it just depends. A toilet can use a lot of water. It's just like having your faucet wide open.
Let's say he's got a finished basement, but he never goes down there and there's a
Right.
toilet leak and he never
Right.
uses it, so he didn't know. I'm torn on this because he did contact us and let us know that we have a problem and we need a new meter. Unfortunately, that meter was giving us some trouble, but,
I'm inclined to give the credit, and the reason is because, had his bill been correct, he would have still seen that there was still an issue. And because of a mistake that was made, not of his own making, there was still another 4 months of him not understanding what his actual usage was. While I just feel like that shows we're taking a little bit of the heat for that.
I also think it's a gesture of goodwill.
can I get a motion to that?
I would make a motion to approve our requested credit by Mr. Bates for $195.85 towards his water bill.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Sorry, Alderwoman Barker, you did the motion, so you're the first.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, it's hard to take notes.
Jerry. Second.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Ms. Kathy, you got a report for us?
Yes, I'm presenting the September financial statements for the city of Kearney. Thank you for your patience. These would have been presented at the last board meeting, but we held them so we could also get the 6-month financial statement done. The 6-month financial statement is required by state statute and the Kearney city ordinances, and that's included here in the back behind the September financials. It was posted and published in the local paper on October 26th. Just a couple things to note for the September financials. Total revenues was $14,058,000. Sorry, my eyes are going out, I'm getting old. $14,058,885.43. Total expenditures of $14,196,876.93, with expenditures being over revenues of $137,991.50, and that is in alignment with what's been budgeted. One thing that occurred on this financial statement that hasn't been in the past is we created the new Fund 62 under Special Revenue Funds, which is our K-9 fund that the board approved here recently. Sales taxes, I know you guys asked about sales taxes. They are trending slightly above where they were this time last year. Just to give you a note of that, it's hard to tell where that year is going to end up and project those, but they're running in alignment with where they were the year before. Another major source of revenue, of course, is the property taxes, which will be coming on board here later in the year. So you'll see for 50% through the year, but property taxes are only 25% because those are paid, majority at the end of the beginning of the year. And everything else just seems to be going along as budgeted. We talked about this the last meeting, but we did receive a large amount of money back from MoDOT that's in the highway fund. So you'll see that revenues are really high for that. And at the next board meeting, we'll have the October financials. So this one was just held back once because of the 6-month statement.
Very good. Any questions for Kathy? Kathy? Any questions? Thank you very much. Moving on, mayor's communications. Well, I get to play mayor tonight, so I get to do the communicating. If you did not get a chance to go to the ribbon cutting for the interchange, you missed out. It was a great event. I got a chance to walk the bridge, something that Kearney can be very proud of. It's very, very nice. Aesthetics on it's really nice. Looks like traffic flow will do well. Unfortunately, we've had some people already try it out that shouldn't be trying it out. But the actual open date has been set back because we don't know when the striping's going to get done on the east side or on the west side. But if you drive down the highway and you see the lights on it and stuff, it just high anticipation. People can't wait to get it open. I think it's going to be a great addition to our community. I think it's really going to help our interchange at 92. It's going to open up the west side. I've said for many, many years that eventually, probably when I'm dead and gone, but eventually I-35 will be dead center of Kearney. And this is a big step in making that happen. And so with the development getting ready to happen on that side, there's a lot of land that's going to be developed. I'm anxious to see what happens, what we get. Carolyn, you get to be a big part of that. So I think it's an exciting time for Kearney, and I hope that people are not only excited, but will use it and be very proud of the growth that's happening here in Kearney. That's all I have for mayor's comments. City administrator.
The next regular board meeting will be on Monday, November 20th, right here at 6:30 p.m. And I wanted to give you guys an update. On August 7th, you approved a change order to the Lexico contract. And at that meeting, you asked me to reach out to the county and ask them if they would cost share for that change order, since it was needed to give access to county residents because the Nation Road culvert is out. And it took a little while, and I finally heard back from the county administrator, and she let me know that they did not have enough money in the budget. And so I did this nice agenda packet, and then today she actually contacted me. It seems that one of their commissioners has requested that the city be able to make a formal request to the commission, because it was just the administrator that answered. And so I don't know if the mayor, since it was today and he is out of town, I was going to ask him, but November 30th, they have a meeting at Thursday at 6 p.m. And she was going to tell the county commission, if they wanted to do this cost share, that they could possibly take that money from the Nation Road project. They have an engineer estimate, hasn't actually been bid yet. So that commissioner also asked for her to come up with a way that if the commission chose to enter into the cost share. So I thought I had an answer for you, and then I am happy to report that I don't have an answer.
You better answer.
And hopefully, hopefully I'll be able to tell you in December really good news. So keep
Anything else?
that is all I have.
Alderman discussion. Kathy, you got anything?
I don't this evening, thank you.
David?
Couple of things, kind of the good and the bad. I also was able to be at the ribbon cutting, and for Kearney native, it was a very proud moment. Having the Bulldog marching band march down the road and with all the dignitaries that were there, it helped cement the fact that Kearney's on the map. And I do walk the bridge, and it's going to take people a little time to get used to the roundabouts and the stoplights and the diverging interchange, but I think this is not only going to benefit people within the city limits, but I think it's going to benefit a lot of people outside of the city limits. It cuts their travel time drastically, and so I think we've done them a bigger favor than we have our own citizens. But like like Alderman Holt said, you know, we're gonna see growth out there now. So it was a fun time to be a citizen of Kearney. So the bad side is we still have issues with our trash.
Yep.
You know,
They did pick up both at the same time
they
today.
did, yes. Today is the first time, I think, in weeks that they've actually picked up the trash and the recycling together, like they're supposed to. Last week they picked up the trash, but they didn't pick up the recycling. And you know, I get it, they have trucks break down, but you know, this was a change that was supposed to make it more cost effective for them. And for it to be more cost effective for them, it's really putting a burden on our citizens. And I think it's a great injustice to the citizens that, you know, we can't rely on our trash service anymore. And if they're having this problem in other municipalities, something needs to change. So I think we need to really be on them about, you know, maybe they need to buy some new equipment. There was a trash truck broke down on my way to work. He was broke down on the side of the road. I was like, oh, great. You know, what are they gonna miss this time? But it's meant to save them money. Maybe they better spend some of that money on new equipment. So that's all I have.
Can I?
You sure can.
I would like to say, I've been through that contract, and it is a long-term contract, and there are no penalties in that contract other than canceling the contract. We've been noisy, and that has got them to make a change. The person that used to be over trash in Kearney prior to this Operation Wolfpack, it's my understanding that he had went to the commercial side, and now the reason that you are seeing an improvement, I think a slight improvement last week, and more of an improvement this week, is because they have brought him back from the commercial side back over to the residential to try to help them adjust. And even though, you know, it's nice that we're seeing some movement, at some point you might have to make a hard decision about the contract. And that, of course, means going out for bid, getting married to another trash contractor that hopefully would provide better service and not at more money, but it is an unknown.
Yeah. Jerry?
We have been very lucky in our neighborhood, and we are not experiencing any trash issues. If anything, mine comes very early, very regular. So I'm knocking on wood. I don't want.
You're in the minority.
Jinxed it now.
Yeah. I thought they have been doing a stellar job recently. So we obviously are not the norm, I guess, according to you three, but it has been going well over our direction. And maybe we're the first neighborhood they hit, so we get them before the trucks get heated up and break down. I don't know, but doing well. And to piggyback on Dan and David, the interchange ribbon cutting was wonderful. It went very well. Kudos to the city and everyone involved here, but also kudos to the Chamber of Commerce. I think it's a great day to be a Bulldog. I was glad to see the band there.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to wrap this out with saying a big shout out to our girls softball team. Got third place at state. That's pretty exciting. Our football guys, they had a great victory over Savannah the other night. Getting ready to play at Smithville next, right? Larry? Is that who's next? So we're moving on with Smithville. If you haven't had a chance to see these boys play, you need to. They're putting up points, and defense is playing tough. It's exciting football in Kansas City right now with the Kansas City Chiefs and with our Bulldogs here at home. Football's in the air. It's awesome. I love it. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Can you get a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none, we're out of here.